How frustrating have the last few weeks been, Graham?
Really frustrating, to be honest with you. And I think there's been times we've had opportunities that haven't made them, and then times, just what can go bad does go bad, it feels like, and I think that, I guess a couple weeks ago wasn't real close, but, last week was a very winnable game, I thought, that we let get away because, in my opinion, offensively, we didn't do what we needed to do to win that game. And so we got to keep working, keep trying to improve, and always get better on Saturday.
Seems like the run game has come around. I know Devin fumbled the other day, but it was a nice run before that. Is that maybe where, in a game like Michigan, you have to take advantage of those opportunities and it's a great D-line?
For sure, when you get opportunities, you got to make the most of them. Like you said, that was a heck of a run he makes, and then just puts the ball on the ground, And but really, I think there's a big credit to those running backs and that offensive line, because we've had to play with a whole lot of different offensive linemen and a bunch of different units, and for them to still be able to go out there and create some creases at times, I think it's a testament just to the way they play right now. I think they're playing the game the right way, trying this, and it's far from perfect, obviously, and there's plenty of space to get better. But the way they go out there and compete and the way they go out there and play every day, they've I think the run game really has continue to get better, and the guys are creating lanes. The running backs have a good feel for it, and like I said, there's plenty of room to get better there too. But I am pretty proud of a lot of those offensive linemen, just from, like I said, the mentality more than anything. It gives them a chance, and like I said, we've had to play with a whole lot of different lineups in there, and it seems like regardless of what five you put in there, they play pretty hard and give us a chance. So proud of the way they go compete with the adversity that room's had to go through.
We're seeing more of Jaden Dixon caught the TD last week. Kind of talk about what he brings.
Yeah, I think he brings a lot of energy. He's kind of like a little spark plug. Since he's been here, he's been that way. He loves the game of football. He's excited to be out there. I think the biggest thing for him is just, up until this point and then moving forward, continue to get comfortable in the offense, because he's a guy that got here later than most people, so he didn't have quite as many reps as a lot of people did built into it earlier in the season. And the longer he's here, the better and better he gets. Like I said, he has the ability, like they call him the cat, just because he kind of can move like a cat. He can change direction, he can start, he can stop. He'll kind of be in one spot and then in a totally different spot the next minute. So he's kind of got some skills like that. And like I said, I think the most important thing about him is he loves football and loves to compete. And so when you do that, you give yourself a chance. And he's a guy that, like I said, that I think will be around here for a little while, and a guy that's just going to get better and better the longer he's here, and can really provide a spark to offenses because his skill set and his passion for the game, to be honest with you.
He said, let him hear he had a connection with you dating back to when you were at USC.
Yeah.
How important are connections even when you move to new jobs of getting guys like that because you knew them from years ago?
Yeah, and I really think the recruiting game's changed a lot. Now his story's a little different, obviously. We got it from a JUCO, but I think the relationships now it's different than it used to be. I think used to relationships were huge in the initial signing, and obviously it's still that way. But even beyond that, in the day of the transfer portal and the way the college football is, I think that relationships and guys knowing you care about them and maybe having a chance to work with them at a camp or something goes a really, really long ways, because it seems like more often than not their first home's not their final home, you know what I'm saying? And so a lot of times when they're looking for a new home, it does go back to relationships that you had, regardless of where you were when you had that relationship. And so like I said, in the kind of the new age of college football where we are right now, relationships are really important. And like you said, it doesn't matter what job you are or where, a kid may initially sign somewhere else, and then 2 years later, 3 years later, be calling you because they're in the transfer portal or they're leaving a junior college or whatever the case may be, looking for another home. And so I think in the recruiting process, even if you don't get them initially, the relationship building part of it is still really important.
Walters yesterday said he was talking to Hudson Carr about having to retrust where his guys are going to be, line's going to block for him. Is that a conversation you were having with him, and then how do you help him get to that again?
Yeah, for sure. That's a conversation we have a lot, and just yesterday, Coach Daggy was kind of talking to him about like kind of the cycle of the season, you know what I mean? And you know, I think like early on doing some good things, you're seeing bright spots, and then you know you have some explosive games. He gets hurt in that Illinois game. He kind of battles through for a couple weeks, and I think that you know, credit to him, like he's injured and he's still out there competing, but you're playing a little more hesitant. And so, like you've seen, you know what I'm saying, like the Iowa game, the Ohio State game still coming back. And so, like Coach Waltz talked about, like, it's trusting, and you got a whole new, like, through there, it's almost like you're playing with an entire new offense because of injuries and stuff, you know what I mean? And so, I think that that's really important at every position, is just like, hey, you gotta like, have some blind faith in the guys you're playing with and trust them to do their job. And so, obviously, that's a conversation that we have with him a lot. That we're having with him, but also like to help him with that is just, you know, you got to try to create confidence in a time when it's tough to create confidence. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I've been talking with him about. And with him, I think it's like, hey man, like let's make sure that you're completely dialed in and completely detailed on what you're doing. Because like if you watched the game the other day, this is something I pointed out to him. Like when he was really dialed in with his footwork, just like you could tell almost by his drop if it was going to be a good play or not, you know. And when his drop was like how it's supposed to be, and moving forward or whatever in the pocket, like bam, the ball was really accurate. And whether the guy made the play or not, like Hudson was doing his job at a high level. And then I think there's plays where, you know, maybe someone looked open or something and he looked a little hesitant. Well, if you get back to it, like his drop was off, and so now like he's a little late, and now that will create hesitation because it's like, man, oh shoot, I'm late. Is he open? Is he still open? You know what I mean? And so that's what I talked to him about from that standpoint. Like, how can I help him? Like, let's make sure we're super disciplined on our end. You know, I mean, super dialed in on the details of our job. And in return, like I said, I think it'll create confidence and great body language from you. You'll make some plays, and that's the way to build confidence is to have success and make plays. And so the other thing that I think Walt's done a great job of, and obviously it's a lot easier to talk about than to do. But like, regardless of what happened on the previous play, you got to go into the next play with complete confidence and trusting the guys around you, whether like the previous play went your way or not. And so I think it's something you can talk about a lot, and to make a point of emphasis, and then carries over onto the football field.
Daniel Johnson was a guy that when you got here was battling back from an injury, lost his opportunity because of an injury, and now is getting his opportunity because of a bunch of injuries. Just, I guess, how proud are you? You see a guy stick to that work ethic, he's going to get his chance now.
Yeah, it's awesome to see stuff like that. Like I said, that offensive line, like, it's like injuries have been contagious in there. You know, I mean, like, it's tough, and you know, I know he was super frustrated early in the season because he's trying to come back from an injury, and every time it felt like he practiced, like his knee would swell back up or something. Like he would just have another setback and another setback, another setback. And I know that's, you know, as a player, as a competitor, when all you want to do is be out there and you have one setback after the next, and so you're not really getting a chance to prove like that I can go do it because your body's just not letting you at the time. It's frustrating, but the cool thing about DJ was, like, he has a really, really positive outlook on life, it seems like, and a positive outlook on everything. And as frustrated as he was, and as frustrated as I know, like, that's got to be as a player, every day when you saw him, he still had a good attitude. And even though, you know, his body wasn't letting him practice at the time, you know what I mean? Like, he came to practice and he had a setback. You saw him in the training room, he was attacking it with a great attitude and great effort. That's all you can ask. And I think that when you approach life and when you approach anything that way, when your opportunities come, like, it gives you the best chance to make the most of them. And so, you know, obviously injuries aren't anything that you ever want. Unfortunately, it's part of the game we play, and he suffered a bad one. But just his outlook on life and his outlook on, like, attacking everything with the most positive attitude and effort he could have has given him a chance that when he got the opportunity and his body's letting him go, I think he's going to make the most of it. So really more than anything with him, like, just seeing him out there and the way he plays and the way he practices and the way he's approached, like, since I've been here, he's had to be very, very limited because that's what his body's allowed him to be. But still, the way he approaches every day has been like cool to see, and I'm so excited for him to get his chance. And like I said, I know he'll make the most of it. And you know, he got a lot of reps the other day, and he said he feels great afterwards. You know, and so that's awesome to hear. And hopefully he just continues to get better with the reps.
how valuable is a left tackle when you're a right-handed quarterback?
Yeah, when you're
guys,
yeah.
you don't want to get hit from behind. And
There's
not
no
see it
doubt
coming.
about that. Yeah, the guys in front of you, those are your best friends when you're the quarterback. You know what I mean? And when those guys play at a high level, it gives you a chance to play at a high level, and especially that backside, that left tackle, because he's protecting what you don't see most of the time. And when you talk about having blind faith, that's like a literal blind faith that guy's gonna block the guy that's trying to kill me. And so having that guy is really, really important. And obviously, everybody knows that's a really important role in the game of football these days. I mean, that's why they make a ton of money in the NFL, because if you have them, you really have a chance to do some special stuff and protect the quarterback. So that's a valuable position. And like I said, I'm excited for DJ. They got the opportunity to go out there and do it against Nebraska, and gets another great opportunity to go do it in the big house this week. And like I said, I think that the more reps he gets, the better and better he'll play, the more and more confident he'll be, and hopefully he goes and plays at a really high level.